Daily, you get to see various perspectives and headlines about the approach for this government in fighting corruption. Are you surprised at how this is turning out at the moment?
Good morning. Thank you very much. And thank you for having me this morning. Good morning, Jane.
Yeah, I did ask you, I mean, keeping tabs, I mean, you're also monitoring how this is playing itself out. Are you in any way surprised at how it's panning out so far? Okay, so, yeah, we lost him, but we'll get him back and get him to give his perspective on this matter, because they also have been busy trying to see how they could ensure that things get on board. Remember, there was that visit too that was paid to the president by that committee, of which there's been a lot of reaction about. But he's back now, Dr. Tanko. Could you go ahead and give us your thoughts and how we're approaching this so far?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate Nigerians for the resilient nature and the renewed vigor. And if not for anything at the moment now, prior to the elections, we've been having a divided country based on religion, ethnic, tribal, and zonal lines. But today, a renewed vigor has been found that seems to unite us very strongly. And that particular single factor is the anti-corruption war. Even the accused is not shying away from it, agreeing totally that yes, that all of us must fight corruption. And this I am very, very happy about. Some of the issues that has come on board with regard to the National Peace Committee. It is very important at this point that I make this particular clarification. I put the record straight. The Peace Committee have a modus operandi. We normally listen to all divides, despite you being accused or accusing anybody. And in this particular situation, we had meetings with political parties, the two leading political parties, and we got views from them, what they feel about the committee. Because paramount, what is important to us is that the existence of the committee, whether it is needed anymore or not. And gladly, every member of that particular political party, especially those who were in the meeting, agreed for the need for the committee to continue. And sensing that there are issues that need being clarified, has been asserted by some of the political parties. And normally, we will take all of this to the major stakeholders. That was the visit that we made to Mr. President. And it's important to note here that there was no point, at no point did any member in that meeting that suggests, or even our body language, suggesting that we were against the anti-corruption war. We all totally supported it and we applauded it. And in fact, Mr. President, in answering to some of these particular issues being raised as regard to some feeling that they are being persecuted or not, Mr. President made a very simple and very clear statement that at that point that we are speaking, there are vessels of Nigerian crude oil stolen from the shore of this country, and they are there in the shore of China. But to him, there is not even any point for us to say that those crude should be returned to the country, but rather he suggested that the crude should be sold there and money being paid to the Nigerian treasury. And at the same time, in form of answering us when we said probably issue of due process, he said documents that were used in taking this crude out of this country will be used to prosecute the culprit. That's answer it and sum it up. Every one of us were happy with the statement made by Mr. President, cracking jokes, and even in his own suggestion, confirming our request that whether we are needed or not, Mr. President said that he is in strong opinion that the National Peace Committee be transformed into a council, offering us a secretariat. So if there was any sign, General Muhammadu Buhari, President Muhammadu Buhari, as he's called now, would not mince word. He would tell you as it is. But he received us warmly, and we were happy, and we went. If there was any statement that were made by individuals of the Peace Committee that was misconceived in any way, it's regrettable. We all know that even Mr. President, at a point in time, in any statement that he made, even irrespective of how good it's intended, people still misperceive it. But we are happy that Nigerians are united towards this fight against corruption, and will continue to give you support based on our antecedent and the fact of what we have stood for in this country. This is something I needed to make as clearly as possible, because as it is now, even the spokesperson to Mr. President were at that particular meeting, and they can confirm this particular statement.
Why do you think then that the National Peace Committee was misunderstood to a large extent?
Well, right from the beginning, even before we visit, you see, in politics, there are people who profiteer in terms of rumor mongering and, you know, having a pre-perceived positions. And they use it for their own personal gain. These are Nigerians who have paid their dues in different status. If you remember clearly, right from the beginning when we started, all of us were in Abuja, personal contribution, personal sacrifice, with no any support from anybody, but we felt that the fragile democracy that we've already attained, and then sensing danger, we all unite, working together to ensure there was peace towards the 2015 general election. And in fact, we were not even, you know, so assured of certain things. We have to re-invite both the president, as at that time, President Goodluck Jonathan, and then President Buhari at the moment, to resign a peace accord. And God, in his infinite mercy, helped us, and we achieved that feat. We became a darling of the country. Everybody was giving us so much accolade and respect. So I guess probably some people are not happy about this, and therefore probably there are an overture by the members of the Peace Committee getting close in trying to mediate in certain things, and then it was strongly politicized.
Allow me come in here very quickly. Just allow me to come in here very quickly. Let's bring this to the perspective that most Nigerians would love to understand this morning, and we're talking about the fight against corruption. Even just yesterday, the former Speaker of the National Assembly, Gali Umar Naraba, is also putting the blame on the doorstep of politicians, political parties. He said, well, most of these people have been brought up, you know, the political parties have brought up people with questionable character. Now, when we talk about fight against corruption, what do you think political parties should be doing at this point in time, knowing full well that there are so many people, well, according to him, he said most, with questionable characters? How can political parties stop fielding such people, either for elective offices or appointive positions?
Now, very good. Suleiman.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Suleiman, for that very brilliant question. The system is bad. I made bold to say that the system is bad in such a way that the populists do not even recognize credible candidates. Money plays very, very important role in our politics today. No matter how credible you are, nobody will listen to you when you don't bring money into the system. If you are credible and you want to contest election, people will ask you for money. And most of the political parties do not have money whatsoever. There is no any seeded money for the political party to run as a political party. So anybody who has stashed away stolen funds or has money will end up being the most preferred candidate, irrespective of how he gets the money or not. And people seem to glorify it. It is only when we start running away from this particular kind of individuals that will have some of those particular credible candidates that we are aspiring for. And that was why we have been saying that at any point in time, the political parties need to be taken care of and ensure that there are seeded money being given for modus operandi of the political parties. So no single individual will come in with his starched money to actually take the platform of the political parties. We are all being witnessed where criminals and those who have, stolen this country's money to a point of stupor, contesting elections and winning it, and nobody say anything about it. So now that we have found a renewed vigor, it is very, very important that even before a person contests in the primaries of political parties, the political parties and the people must ensure that that person is of impeccable character and he has no skeleton in his cupboard. Just like what is being done now by Mr. President, he's trying to ensure that whoever comes in as his aide or minister is being clinically cleaned before he can come in to work with him. If that can be done within all the political parties, I can assure you that we have some of the most cleanest candidates who are ready to contest elections. But money should not be the yardstick where you put in about 20 million naira or 15 million naira for a candidate to just only buy a nomination form. That is where the problem starts from.